Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Peauno, and today I'm bringing you another live Minecraft gameplay commentary. Today we're playing a little bit of some bow spleef. I'm pretty sure I made a video about this before. If not, it's a game just like spleef with a bow and arrow. So let's do this. Oh my god, I'm gonna die. I'm dead. Alright, anyway, today I don't really have much to talk about other than you're dead. I really don't want to die. Anyway, I don't have much to talk about other than baseball's coming up, which means I'll have even less time to commentate and make videos. But I will still try to keep my 3 times a week or more. I'm trying to go for once every other day, so that might mean more a week. That might mean less a week. Oh, okay. Well, that game was a fail. And I'm trying to, I'm also in a club at school, which takes a lot of time after school, and then I have baseball practice after that, so that's basically how that's gonna work, and yeah, that's basically all I really have to talk about today. I know I shouldn't be doing commentaries and have nothing to talk about. It kind of bores you guys out. But, let's see if I can make some topics. Oh, let's see if I can tell you guys a story. Alright, let me tell you guys the story of Mr.Nurse. Alright, so if any of my friends from school are watching this, this is the story about Mr.Nurse. I was in 6th grade. I'm a freshman in high school, for all of you wondering now. And I was, goofing off in class like I did. And, well, we had this substitute, and he was, oh my god, he just pissed me off. He was not anything about, he was just being a dick to everybody, and he was wearing a really tight shirt that showed his nipples, and he told us his fucking life story about how he went to school to be a nurse. So, the rest of the day, me and my friends behind his back were calling him Mr. Nurse. So, he caught one of us, obviously, and told us to go outside. The kid came back inside and was like, ew, he kind of touched me weird. So, we all tried to get in trouble. We all tried to see what he was talking about. So, I was like, hey, Mr. Nurse. And he's like, stop calling me that, please, Mr. Anderson. I will call you by your respected name if you call me by my respected name. And I said, Mr. Nurse, no one's going to call you by your respected name. It's impossible to say. You're dead. Alright, anyway. Because it was like Mr. Hutdalmana or some shit like that. It was like German or some shit. So this guy was like, alright, Zach, I'm gonna give you one more chance. So like 30 minutes later, I was sitting there, my friends were bugging me to get in trouble again. I was like, alright, whatever, what could he do? So, without doing anything, he walks over to me and he touches me on the shoulder, hella weird. Like, he, literally weirded me out. It was, sexual, kinda. And he, rubbed my shoulder for, 5 seconds. And was like, so what you doing right now, Zach? And I said, working. And he's like, really? It doesn't look like it. And I said, well, that's what I'm doing. So you should probably stop touching me that way. So he stopped touching my shoulder and went down. And he, kind of kneeled down and touched my knee. Which was even more awkward. And he was like, why don't we take a step outside, Mr. Anderson? And my friends were all looking at me hella weird. They're like, what did he just say? And, well, he took me outside, and we were talking for about 5 minutes, and he kept going over to, touch me. And at this point, I thought he was kind of like a child molester. So I said, Mr. Nurse, he's like, please don't call me that. And I'm like, alright, mister, I don't know how to say your name. If you touch me one more time, I'm literally going to punch you in the stomach and go to the office. And he was like, well, if you feel that way. And he took us back inside. And on the way in, he, rubbed my back. So I turned around, punched him in the stomach, ran to the office, told him, and he left. He got, kicked out. He can't teach anymore or some shit. Because everybody in the class saw him, rub my back. It was kind of really weird. Anyway, that is the story of Mr. Nurse. But the best part is I saw him a couple weeks ago, and he was like, hello, Mr. Anderson. And I said, oh God, hello? And he was like, oh, don't worry, I'm not coming to touch you. And I was like, oh, that's weird. And he's like, I just wanted to apologize for whatever I did to make you mad in the 6th grade. And I was like, well, you touched me kind of like a faggot. And he said, well, it probably doesn't help that my sexuality is not what you would like it to be. Has nobody ever learned to not camp in corners at the start of games? And I was like, so you're gay? And he was like, yes, I am. And I was like, so wait, when you were touching me, what was that? He was just like, I was just trying to be a disciplinary teacher. And I was like, oh, well, that's kind of weird that you touched me like that, though, back in 9th grade. And he was like, yeah, well, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you in any way. I was just trying to make my point. And I was like, that's a weird point you were making. But later, Mr. Nurse, and he got hella mad and, like, stormed out of the fucking grocery store. It was fucking funny. A couple of my friends were there that were actually there when the Mr. Nurse thing happened. It was actually pretty damn funny. So, yeah, that's pretty much the story of Mr. Nurse. Now, let me talk a little bit about my substitute in 6th period today. He kind of looked like him, but it wasn't him. Like, he wore a really tight shirt that made his nipples pop out, and it was really disgusting. And at the end of the class, he was like, this is fucking horseshit. You guys are all fucking, you need discipline. And he started cussing. And so I called my teacher and put her on speaker, and because she gave us her number to call us in case we needed help with work when she wasn't there. And so I called her and put her on speaker and said, listen. And she heard the teacher cussing, and that teacher, let's just say he's not allowed to sub at our school anymore. Yeah, so, and then my real teacher, Miss Seaborn, who teaches my science class, the teacher I was just talking about teaches my English class. She's really chill. Her name's Miss Reed. She's probably the nicest teacher I've ever had. But my Mrs. Seaborn, oh God, she is probably the meanest old lady you will ever meet. Like, she's like, we've been watching a movie the past couple days, and she's paused it because one kid accidentally coughed, and she said, I know that was on purpose. I know what you kids do nowadays to make that try to sound funny. And he's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. I just coughed a little bit, my bad. And she was like, you know what, go outside. It is not funny at all. This is not a class to mess around in. And it was just like one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. So, anyway, guys, that's basically all I have to talk about today. You know, I'll try to think of some more story time. I'm gonna call that, that's what I'm gonna call this, story time with Peauno. And, I'll probably, you know, get a thumbnail for this shit and everything. Other than that, guys, it's been Peauno, and, peace. I'm out.